Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 6 of the West Ham Save. And we are effed in the Alps. Yeah, it is not great at all. We've got a couple players back. James Ward-Prowse was suspended for a little while. Scott McTominay's back from injury. Emerson's slowly recovering. But Patson Daka's been injured, and now that he's back, he's off on international duty. The big news, Jarrod Bowen's out for 3 months. And 3 of our best players are all out on international duty for Afcon. Kudus, Benrahma and Agard all gone. What does that leave our attack? And I didn't actually really realise this till I was about to build the team. So I could say, hello, this is a team. I'm not sure what we're about to build, so it's about to be an experience. And we've just got into January. We're going into this game against Aston Villa. First day of January. We had 40 million to spend. It's now down to 12 million. So we need to try and figure out a way to maybe smartly sell and buy where we can. Because right now we're really bad. But we have a couple of young talents. Hopefully they can help out. So in that number 10 role, we're of course going to have to rely on Scott McTominay for right now. At right wing, I've got no idea. I'm going to be completely honest. Mavi Panios is struggling with fitness. I'm going to try and hope he can hold out. It will probably be Cornet on that right-hand side with the midfield of Souček and Ward-Prowse. So we leave ourselves with a pretty solid team. Obviously missing out a little bit there in left centre-back, but the rest is pretty good. In terms of young players, Ollie Scholes is in the squad. I quite like him. He does look like a really solid player. Probably won't develop all too great, and I do think he needs a lot more pace. He's probably more of a central midfielder than anything. But he's our backup left back for now, and Lewis Orford is our backup defensive playmaker there where Ward-Prowse is. I actually think he's pretty decent at the job. I like the decisions, determination and teamwork. I like his natural fitness. I think there's something in Lewis Orford. But yeah, we go into this game against Aston Villa and we aren't doing great to begin with. In terms of the schedule, we just came off a 3-2 loss to Newcastle, which after beating them 5-1 a couple months ago isn't great. We did, however, go on a decent run, so we left off after beating Servette, a draw with Arsenal. Then we'd beat Brentford 3-0. We'd lose 1-0 to Freiburg. Didn't matter much, obviously. Changed the team around a lot. Fabianski got injured again broke his arm. Absolutely terrible. What didn't matter. 2-0 draw against Fulham was a little bit more concerning. Kudus struggled. It's when we lost Emerson. Yeah, it wasn't great. It was a 98th minute goal from Naya Faguer to keep us in. But luckily we would beat Bristol City in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. We would beat Brighton 3-0, a double late by Said Benrahma. 2-1 against Tottenham. Cornet would score Danny Ings. That 3-2 loss was very frustrating, but it was probably deserved. Anyway, No, I just changed all this. Oh. Boom. Coventry in. No, we don't. We've only got 2 Keka there. I'd rather that Cornet. Yep. Hate how it did that. Anyway, Badabooey. Let's get into this. Aston Villa, I think we lost to Aston Villa first time around. Now we're facing them with about a 60% team. If that. It's not great. We're missing out on a centre-back. We're missing out on 3 key attackers. So yeah, 4 players missing from 11. Ward-Prowse in. Mavropanos back to Ward-Prowse. He could have shot that in towards Danny Ings, unsuccessful. Cornet is there. Maxwell Cornet. Oh! Maxwell Cornet with his 5th goal of the season. He's starting to find some real good form. Obviously, match fitness is something that's really important. We've struggled because we need basically all we've got tends to be the starting 20. So I can't really have my substitutes out playing for the under 21s, etc. because there isn't. I don't want them tired and then they need to be subbed on, etc. It kind of defeats the whole point of subbing someone on. So the best way really is for these injuries to build up their match sharpness, and over time they will just get better. As here's Sufal brings it in, McTominay at the back post. Scott McTominay is back. McSauce is beautiful. What a beautiful, beautiful footballer. Probably, I mean, you can argue, but is it possible? Scott McTominay is the single sexiest footballer to ever play in the Premier League. I don't just mean physically, I mean the way he plays football. What a Talvin header. That was genuine daddy-esque football. That might be the name of this episode as well. Prowse scores from a free kick. Would have been his first goal directly from a set piece. And this is looking like a genuine roughhousing of the villains here. Mavropanos back out toward Prowse. Very good at... Oh, Lucas Paqueta with his fourth goal this season. A beautiful screamer from the edge of the box. We are very good at collecting those second balls. That's a lot of world passes assist on that aren't actually from the set piece. It's from 5 seconds after the set piece. Wow. 3-0 up against Villa, 18 minutes in. We're slowing down a little bit. Probably to do with a bit of complacency, maybe feeling bad for Aston Villa, who are still doing pretty well in the league, I'm pretty sure. Oh my god. Danny Ings, potential groin injury. I'm going to bring Divine Mubamba on instead of Michael Antonio. Give the young lad something. Not good at all. Ward-Prowse. Let's make this 4-0. If this is 4-0, I'm going to pause unless something happens so that we can talk about transfers. And James Ward-Prowse again, it's that moment after the free kick that he scores 4-0 up. It's definitely going to be a pause at half time, see what happens. And we'll talk about all that later, but we're going to spend a bit more time on the transfer window. I suppose that's probably going to be what we do, is actually talk about the transfers and what we might need to do to improve this squad, because right now it's really bad. So the game is over. We ended up conceding 2, but I was never really all that worried. The second was in the 81st minute. Again, just held on a little bit. Mubamba not his greatest day, but we're back to how we were ending the January transfer window, where we have nobody fit. And it's not just the offense like it was last time. The entire team is completely out of it. It's really bad. I've not had this issue with this many key players. Usually you'll struggle with squad depth. You'll lose a few of your bench players, they'll pick up injuries in training, etc. But this international thing, so they're out for the rest of the month, all 4 of these. Obviously, some may get, they may not go through further than Afcon, might be things, but it's another risk with injury more than anything. I couldn't tell you quite what my plan is. And Danny Ings is awaiting treatment for a hip injury, which will keep him out for 3 months. Oh no. So yeah, we don't have Danny Ings for 3 months. We don't have Patton Daka for a month. Don't have Kudus for a month. As a team, we are a couple miles off of being any good right now. Well, Prowse swaps there. Ed's Navas off. I suppose it's going to be Antonio's chance to really thrive. So, as I said, we need to look into transfers. So, right now, if you look at the squad, we can't even fill out a full 20, really. We've got Connor Coventry in. So, where's the issues? Well, up front's definitely the issue right now. we have 4 strikers, so it's hard to say, yeah, we're going to sign another striker. The best way we could probably do that is maybe sell Antonio for a better striker. So we can get about 2.5 million for Antonio. If we can do that, then I'm confident, hey, we can forge something the same maybe for Angelo Ogbonna. So I never really wanted to sell Ogbonna or Antonio, but right now we really have to do something. And Connor Coventry also looks like he could leave. So it looks like we might be able to free up places for 3 different players. Areola may leave, may not. I'm not going to be like desperate to sell him right now. But the reason why I think that's important is if we can sell those 3 players, we can bring in a couple players very cheap, you know, similar to Patson Daka with some of these loan deals. You know, someone like Jadon Sancho may well be willing to join on loan. We can't bring him in right now because we cannot have more than 2 domestic loan players, which is of course McTominay and Daka. But maybe if we go over to Barcelona, they may have some players. So that's the plan. But first we can get the wages off the bills, and we can maybe bring in a couple million. So we might have like 20-25 million pounds to play with here. Once we move around the budgets, we can sign a solid striker and a solid something else. Could be looking good. So yeah, we'll be back for the game for Leeds, and we'll see what's happened and sort of where things are moving right now, because I'm stressed. So we are back for the FA Cup game against West Ham. A few things with transfers, we'll talk about that quickly. So in terms of players coming in, I'm looking at Nordi Mukiele on loan. I am also looking at Stefan El Shaarawy. Both of these players without contracts. So Mukiele would join next season for £8 million. Stefan El Shaarawy would join straight away for $3 million, rising to $6.5 million. In terms of out, it was the players we said, Ogbonna, Coventry and Michael Antonio. Monaco are trying to sign, as well as Celtic are trying to sign Ben Johnson. We have offered a contract to him, so I hope he accepts. We've offered him a big wage rise. So I'm looking at El Shaarawy more as just backup to these winger positions. Right now we have literally no one who can play that role, and Bowen's obviously out for a while. Ben Rama's been solid, but if we can have another player, it'd be really important. I think he's a great player, and he'd really suit what we're doing with West Ham, with dribbling and being a little bit more in your face. Mukiele's basically because I like Sufal, I like Johnson, I like Tadibo, I like Mavropanos. I'm not a big fan of Kekra, so if we can get rid of Tilo Kekra, who's wanted by Borussia Dortmund, I think Mukiele is a better player. And look, that we can get £21 million from Newcastle for a player who we don't even really use, who's obviously shown little sparks of being good. I think Mukiele is a better player. He's obviously a much more reputable player. Both coming in from PSG. But yeah, I think Mukiele is an immediate improvement on that. For $8 million, so we're making £13 million profit. And we can save up some money if we can sell. If we can sell Kekra now, that's a lot of money to buy the star striker, because Daka, he's got a couple to injury problems. Same with Danny Ings. So maybe we look at Josh Zirkzee, who we looked at obviously in summer. Maybe someone else pops up, but I definitely want to bring in a consistent, not injury prone striker. Probably around like that 27, 28 year old age, someone who's in the prime, who can just take a lot more of the burden off of Patson Daka and be someone who's a bit more clinical, but a lot more willing to play in some of the other players. Like, I think that's the one thing we're missing, is we have no real hold-up play. We're playing a deep line forward. Which, speaking of, I'm going to change Antonio to advance forward, because he can't really. He's good at holding the ball up, but he's not going to be playing any beautiful passes. And I'm not relying on McTominay to be on top goal scorer right now. So I'd rather just have Antonio being a bit more aggressive, diving into some of these shots. Debo, that's a lovely ball over the top to Maxwell Cornet. Beautiful. Great save by Victor Claesson. That was really nice football done. I know some of you might be thinking, why don't we make a few more changes, especially with injuries, but I think the FA Cup is an important, and Leeds is such a good team anyway, that we're in an important competition against a solid team. Let's try and be our best, as David De Gea doesn't have to get a touch on that, but he had it well covered. Todibo continuing to be a genuine world-class footballer, and he kind of goes under the radar, but I've never worried about us defensively with him in our team, where I do with other players, and he kind of doesn't matter who I have alongside him, I feel comfortable. If that was Mavropanos partnering with Kehra or Zuma, I would be a lot more worried. Todibo is so good. Again, similar. Again is very, very good, but Todibo is that little step above in terms of on the ball and much more technically profound footballer. Offensively, I think they're pretty similar defensively though. So the first half ends 0-0. We've not done bad, but we can do better. And to be honest, it has been predominantly Leeds. Apart from that one chance from Cornet, it's felt like this has been a game for Leeds to win. And Ellen Road, they're going to be making a lot of noise. If we could hear it, there would be a lot of noise right now for this. There's Wilfred Gnonto, who could well be the striker we go for, Crescencio Somerville. The other option of bringing in Paddy Bamford, decided against that. Didn't think he was exactly an improvement on what we've got up front. It's Cornet. This is nice football here by Maxwell Cornet, but he's dispossessed. I think we're going to go attacking. Basically just to sort of shove it in Leeds' faces that we have better players. Because we do. Soufal, Cresswell, Ward-Prowse, and even like Paqueta and McTominay are just 10,000 times better than what Leeds can offer right now. We should be able to be more willing to really get into their faces. But yeah, I'd love to know if there's someone or a position that I'm missing out on right now, because I really can't see it like at all. I couldn't tell you what it is that I'm missing. As Paqueta drives forward, lovely goal past Victor Claesson. And this thing, the team's working really well, so I know it's not that, it would be easy if we were looking at it and Cresswell was dropping 5.8 every game and you go, yeah, we need a new left back. But I'm looking at this team and saying, we have a very good squad, but where is that missing metronome? Where's that special thing that's just not quite there? Because I think there is something. In fact, I know there's something. I just can't put my finger on it. So this game's beginning to play itself out. I'm going to bring Lewis Orford on, who I am a big fan of. I'm going to bring Paqueta off. This is what I mean. We don't really have another option. It's going to be Mubamba, and Antonio's going to move to the left wing. So yeah, I think El Shaarawy's a very good signing because he's cheap, and he achieves what we're trying to do. Because I'm not trying to sign a star winger. I really like Ben Rama, I really like Bowen. Paqueta's never really let me down. It's just simply that I need someone when there's injuries. Crescencio Somerville makes it 1-1. Lewis Orford, what have I done bringing you on? Going to Matt Moore, we're going to need to make a change. Soufal's going to come off for Ben Johnson. Just because I really like Ben Johnson. Fresh legs. He's the type of substitution where it doesn't matter how well Soufal's playing. If he's tired, I feel comfortable bringing him on. And we still got a couple issues, but Emerson's back from injury, so I'm happy to make that change. I'm also happy to bring Souček off for Edson Alvarez. So that's all 5 of our substitutions. We look pretty much the same after those 2 substitutions, but there's a chance for Leeds, who can try and maybe work more on Ben Johnson and Lewis Orford, and that's exactly what happens. It's on Ben Johnson's side. Stuart Dallas pulls it across. Ethan Ampadu with the most disgusting roll I've ever seen. That was dirty and horrible and nasty. Don't ever do that again. As Leeds completely tore us apart. Ampadu, beautiful strike. 1-0 up. 2-1 down, and it all came from that little substitution in the midfield, bringing off James Ward-Prowse. It's kind of torn this team apart. Mubamba, but also not great. But with 2 minutes left of the 90 plus 6, there was a highlight I thought that could have been for us. It's ended up in the path of Leeds United. We're putting good pressure on them. And it's Mubamba for Charlie Cresswell. And that is lovely. It's really nice. And it's Jed Spence on the right hand side who comes forward. And it's an own goal. It's an own goal from Constantinos. Sorry. Oh, God. This is what I mean. I just don't feel comfortable when it's not good and to Debo. Like, I feel comfortable with Debo, but that was terrible. A 3-1 loss to Leeds, and it was entirely deserved. So my God, my computer does not like this game. 3-1 to Leeds. That's a terrible way to go out in the FA Cup. We weren't prepared to play. The manager isn't putting out all the stops, but it is purely injuries. At full team, we battered them. And, oh no, City beat Southampton 1-0, a 93rd minute goal from Julian Alvarez, which means December is going to be a very fun month. We have Everton, followed by Manchester United, a double header against Manchester City, and then a game against Sheffield United to finish out the month. I'm probably going to show the game against City and Sheffield United to try and finish off this month. So we'll see the first leg results, and then we'll try and answer it back in the second leg. If we are really far behind, I might just do the Sheffield United game and a big deadline day, as there is going to be a lot of transfers. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I would say it's been fun, but it's not been fun at all. The winning against Leeds was great, it was, but we only saw half of that. We saw the entire time where we absolutely capitulated against the Leeds team, 77th minute. From then on, and it was deserved, and I think that's what hurts the most. Is it's not like we got unlucky, we just got outplayed. Kuda's still the top goal scorer. That's how bad we've been. He's barely been available for like 2 months, and he's still the top goal scorer. Yeah, thank you guys. We'll come back with some of the transfers, but I don't know quite what to say. It's not going well.